Hey there, welcome to The Hot Slice, the weekly podcast brought to you by Pizza Today magazine. I'm your host, Jeremy White, editor-in-chief of Pizza Today, joined today by my three esteemed, beloved colleagues.
Esteemed, you hear that?
Esteemed, yes.
I've never been called esteemed ever.
I know.
Have you been beloved?
No, none of this.
No.
Well, here's who I have with me today. I have my executive editor, Denise Greer.
Hello, everyone.
I have my design lead, Katie Wilson.
Hi.
And our creative director, Josh Keown.
Hello, everyone.
Guys, this is season, what are we at the end of season 2?
At the end of season 3, I think, right?
No, season 3. See, it all
yeah.
runs together with the quarantine. We're ending season 3 of the Hot Slice.
Yep.
We are still working remotely from home. I am in my basement. I don't know where Katie is.
Basement as well here too.
Katie's in like some weird.
I'm in your basement too. I'm over in the corner. Yeah. Pay me no mind.
I'm in
Denise,
my office.
in your home office. But
Yes.
hey, the good news is that International Pizza Expo is coming up in June, and all indications at the moment anyway are that the show will go on. So there's hope that we may get out of our basements, is what I'm trying to say.
Maybe. Like I don't mine and Denise have come a long way from like March last year. We were kind of in the bedroom, we were just everywhere. There was nothing on the walls. And now Denise has got a whole office.
Got a whole
setup
back here on my passions, what I like, biking and pizza and homemade,
come a long way.
crafting and all that stuff. So just lots of stuff.
If we get back into the office, I don't know. I guess we'll just do this in the conference room together. I'm not sure how that'll work, but
that would be fun.
Maybe by the fish tank, and that way the fish can participate and feel like they're part of the family again.
each get a different part of the office and do this on Zoom.
Do you think
We do
the
have that
Pizza
little
Today
lounge
fish-
area in the front.
Yeah. Do you think the Pizza Today fish miss us? Do you think that they are feeling lonely and wondering where we're at and wondering what we're doing?
Honestly, the amount of time that I have thought about that is so concerning. Like, I'm so worried about the fish, but that might just be me.
I mean, we have a dedicated person going in there taking
That's
care of the fish.
Yeah.
Mike is not going to let us down.
Say, do we know the fish have been fed? I've not personally checked in on it. Could they all be belly up floating right now?
Bill Oakley is on that. He loves those fish like they were his children. So
Yeah, he
I'm
does.
sure.
I guarantee
that,
they're getting taken care of.
Yeah, I'm sure
All
they're
right.
fine.
Well, now that we have assured the pizza industry that the Pizza Today fish are fine.
All of our
Today's a
plants
little
are
bit
done,
different.
though. My cactus has
All right.
got to be done.
Well, guys, that's a wrap on this podcast. We'll see you later. The fish are fine. We're out. Goodbye.
We're out. This is such a good podcast. We're done.
No, so Denise, we normally have a guest on that we interview, but today we're doing something a little bit different. We did this last season as well. It's a Ask Pizza Today episode. We, on social media, asked our readers to pose some questions to us and that we would talk about them and answer them on the podcast. And we got a really good response. We had a lot of questions come in.
Yeah, actually, there's one that kind of correlates with what we were just talking about with the fish and poor Josh's cactus.
Did somebody ask about the fish?
No, somebody asked about you, Jeremy, actually. So Brian Weevil, who was our guest.
He asked this question last time, Denise.
Did he? Because he wants
Yes.
to ask it again. Is
Yeah,
the plant
yes.
alive?
Is he asking about the plant again?
Yeah.
Yes, he wants to know about the plant. Is it alive?
Brian,
and I don't remember if you said it was alive or dead, but I'm sure it's dead.
Brian, I feel like we've been through this before, but let me just be very direct and clear. I've managed to keep 2 human beings alive that I'm in charge of. I have a 15-year-old son and an 11-year-old son, and I've managed to keep them alive. I've also managed to keep the Pizza Today sourdough starter alive. It is now 5 years old, and I've managed to keep that alive. Regrettably, however, I was not able to keep that plant alive. So we can close the chapter on the plant in my office.
Brian, you're going to have to come to terms with this, Brian. You're really going to have
okay.
to come to terms with it. Yes, let's face up with it. It's not here anymore.
Brian, sometimes loss is hard to accept. And I understand that. And you might be grief stricken, but you've got to move on. The plant didn't make it.
He was very eager to learn on LinkedIn. He was on our LinkedIn channel asking us about it. So, hey, y'all, we have a LinkedIn, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look, Brian could have asked about a dough formula. He could have asked, how do I find good help right now? But no, he asked about my plans. So
it's the caring individual he is.
Yeah, but we did get a lot of really great questions about some pretty, industry topics that everybody is wanting to learn more about. So, I think we should jump into some of these questions.
Jump on in.
Here. What do we have?
All right. Well, I think we should do this employee question because, man, hiring employees is such a hard thing right now. So we received a private Facebook message that says, "Where the heck can I find new employees? I'm in desperate need of a phone person. I've been trying on Indeed and Craigslist, but nothing." So guys, where can he find?
That is indeed the $1 million question everyone is asking right now.
So I have found over the years that oftentimes your current restaurant employees are your best resource. By and large, people hang around with like-minded individuals. If you are a go-getter with a good work ethic and a positive attitude, you tend to gravitate towards others that fall into that same category. If you're a lazy loser, you tend to hang out with lazy losers, right? So if you've got an employee who's talented, who gets after it, who's really a star in your workforce, I would approach he or she and say, do you have any friends looking for jobs right now? Do you have anyone that you think would be ideal for our hostess position or to answer our phones or our dishwasher, whatever position you're looking to fill? I think that if you reach out to your current employees, that's usually the best method, because essentially you have someone you already trust, you already know, vouching for this person, saying, yes, this would be a good hire. He or she will fit in. They will help us out. And that is the direction I would go if I were in that situation.
And also it goes back to whatever culture you have built at your pizzeria. And if it's a great culture, people are having fun and people like going to work, that's going to get out there and people are going to find that out and they're just going to come. So.
Yeah, but I think you can't just put help wanted on the front door. That may have worked in the 1980s, but I don't think anybody's going to just see the sign on the front door and walk in and say, hey, how do I apply for a job? Right. You've got to be proactive now.
And I think that right now, a lot of people don't know what their culture is and haven't identified it. So they don't know what the exact employee that they're looking for is. They just tend to, I'm hiring, so I got to find that person. Help wanted. I need a pizziola. I need, this and that. And so here I'm going to put a sign on the door or put a post on social media. And it's got to go way beyond that. It's got to outline what exactly you are looking for in the person. If you're not showcasing how awesome it is to work for your pizzeria, then why would anybody be interested in working for your pizzeria? If you look at turnover, which everyone has a problem with, and you look at some of the things that are causing that turnover, a big thing is not being able to identify that culture and get the right employees in. So while it is very hard to find that initial employee, you've just really got to hone in on that culture and who you're looking for, because then you can go out and you can target those people, whether that's maybe looking at, your alternative weekly locally, a neighborhood communications group. I think about like my little neighborhood association. If a local pizzeria in my hood, posted a job, I think they'd see some response from people that live in the neighborhood that actually care about the restaurant there. And then looking at the customers themselves. If you've got a lot of great ambassadors, perhaps maybe they want to work for you,
Yeah. And
go ahead, Josh.
Yeah. You got to sell yourself. If you are putting that up, that I need a dishwasher, $8 an hour. If you're putting that up on your Facebook, it's not going to roll, but you got to sell your stuff. You got to say what the benefits are here working for this job, and what, like I said, what kind of culture you've created. And you really have to sell the people on working nowadays. It's sad to say, but you really have to.
Yeah, you do. And
I would put together
those
video. iPhone, today's iPhones are amazing. You don't need any high powered equipment. I would put together a short 45, 60-second video basically showing the energy of working in a pizzeria, how, how it's go, 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 and how vibrant it is.
And we could
Show someone
yeah.
topping a pie, slicing a pie, taking a pie out of the oven, doing all the different tasks that would be done throughout the day, maybe sit to some upbeat music, and showing just again how vibrant it is to work in your pizzeria. And hey, we're looking for our next star, and there are growth opportunities. Maybe the dishwasher from a year ago or the delivery driver from a year ago is now a manager. That happens all the time in this industry. So show that there are growth opportunities and roll out this video on your social media platform versus, like Josh said, saying hiring a dishwasher for $8 an hour, $12 an hour, $15 an hour, wherever you live. You've got to go beyond that and get creative.
And I'd like to point everybody to Gapco, Greenville Avenue Pizza Company's YouTube page. Just go there. They have a few employee searching out for employee videos. So they do a really good job. I mean, they're on the extreme of doing amazing job on that, but you can definitely get something from that.
Yeah, and maybe in the description we'll include some articles from Pizza Today where it really highlights, what the hiring process is and how to really cultivate that. Because I know that Mike Bausch did a great article recently on, tapping good talent and what you need to do that. And he's always so straightforward. So I always like his point of view on it.
What else do we have, Denise? Next question.
All right. So, we've got a little bit more of a technical question. So maybe we'll be able to help them, but also point them in the right direction. So Tony Grab reached out to us, Grobe probably, on Facebook and asked, I've taken over the kitchen operations of another restaurant and they have a struggling pizza station that I'd like to repair. They form their pizza doughs using pizza press and use a rotating gas brick oven. And I'm wondering which pizza style would be best given these pieces of equipment.
Interesting. When you take over a location and they already have processes in place, they're already doing things a certain way. The first question you have to ask yourself, is this working? Is it a process I want to continue, or do I want to deviate from that? It would be a substantial investment to pull out the oven and put in a new oven. So I'm going to work under the assumption that that is not something that he would want to do. So the next question is the rest of the process. Does he want to follow that? There's no law written in all the land that says if you take over a pizzeria that is sheeting its dough, you must continue to sheet and press its dough. Nor if you take over a pizzeria where they were forming dough by hand, there's no pizza god out there saying you have to continue that way. So that's the beauty of it, Tony. You can do it however you want to do it. If you do like the fact that they're pressing the dough and you want to continue to do that, my answer to your question would be that I think a tavern style pizza, they're extremely popular right now anyway. They're delicious. And I think that based on the process you're describing and the oven you're describing, I think that would be a natural fit. Josh, what do you think?
Yeah, especially if it's, pizza is not all you're selling and that's kind of like just a side piece of what you're selling. Tavern style, I would right there with you. That would be a great one to go to.
We've seen a lot of rotating deck ovens or rotating ovens around as we've been to different pizzerias. And we've seen everything from Tavern to New York to just a thin pressed, hand tossed pizza. We see way more thin than anything else. It's a little more cumbersome to do a thicker style pizza in a rotating, but there are possibilities that you can do those kinds of things. So I think first you need to identify what you want out of your what pizza do you want to sell, because this is your restaurant. If you're not selling the product that you want to back and that you want to provide, then you may fail before you begin because you're not selling something that you actually want to sell.
Yeah, and look around your competition. What are they selling? If there's two other places selling tavern style pizzas, maybe not. So that's another thing to look at. Just but at the end of the day, you're gonna you're going to have to love making whatever pizza you make. So,
Yeah.
Do a lot of research, make a lot of pizza, and kind of see what hits the best.
Yeah, absolutely right. You know, this is a question I would like to see addressed and answered before making a purchase or taking over a pizzeria. In the future, I would advise a little more forward thought and proactivity on that. Come to terms with that before you actually get into the pizzeria versus after the fact saying, hey, we're in here now what do we do? Maybe it was too good of a deal to pass up and you just had to jump in, and that happens all the time, and that's understandable. I will say a rotating deck oven is a fantastic piece of equipment. We've seen it in lots of pizzerias over the years, as Denise alluded to, and I've had fantastic pizzas I've had fantastic pizzas out of every style of oven that exists. So it's not going to limit your ability to produce a great pizza. And if your initial question is what style, I would probably still steer you towards a Tavern style. I would give that a try, Tony, and see how it turns out, see what you think.
Figuring out how to do delivery right can be a daunting task, especially when it comes to third-party platforms, in-house delivery, contactless solutions, and POS functionality. Fortunately, the innovators at PDQ have developed the Delivery Toolkit app, a convenient single source that can measurably enhance all aspects of delivery while saving time, effort, and costs. Rooted in metrics, the multi-integrated PDQ Delivery Toolkit is a must-have resource for your store. Learn why at pdqdt.com or call 877-968-6430. That's 877-968-6430. Performance Food Service is proud to deliver high-quality products, innovative technology, and custom operational solutions to restaurants of all sizes across the country. The flagship division of Performance Food Group, with deep roots in the restaurant industry, Performance Food Service has been the exclusive distributor of the Roma family of brands for more than 65 years. This signature relationship has allowed Performance Food Service to become a leader in the pizza and Italian segment of food service nationwide.
Next question.
Next question. Am I the question reader of the group?
You are the master of ceremonies.
All right.
The MC. Now, John Goodicance has lost his job to you.
This one's a little more challenging to answer, and will probably push them to a little more details in the publication that we have. So
let's put Katie on this question then. If it's a hard one.
All right. We'll give her the hard question.
We need to put Katie on this.
All right.
No, don't feel like you have to.
So Jeremy Collins on Facebook asked us, he said, just yesterday, I sent out our first SMS marketing text with an offer for the night, and it exploded. I've been wanting to get into doing this for some time now and finally pulled the trigger. Can you give me some insights on how often to send these out, what content they should include, what are the typical results to show this is working, and any other good info to know? Yeah.
Wow. Katie, you actually are perfect to answer this. But hey, first of all, just congratulations on dipping your toes into a new medium, SMS.
And it working.
So, good for you. Kudos to you for trying that out. Katie, what's your thought on the frequency?
Okay, so
it is annoying if I'm getting a text every 2 hours, I'm going to be highly annoyed, and I'm going to unsubscribe pretty quickly.
Yes. Yeah. I was going to say it's very easy to go overboard really quickly and then get on people's nerves. I would say once a week, but I do subscribe to some that will send more, but those are products and services that I really, really want. Mm-hmm. So you have to think about the people in your list. How often are they, spending money at your restaurant? Those people, the ones who do spend more money, are going to be the ones that you're going to want to target more often.
Josh, the thing is, SMS marketing has a much higher open rate versus, let's say, email marketing. Chances are, if it pops up on my phone, I'm going to see it, whereas something goes to my personal Gmail, it may sit there for 90 days and I may never open it. But if a text comes through, I'm probably going to see it. But at the same time, it also feels a lot more personal. It feels like you're invading my personal space, and feels
my time.
Feels intrusive.
Yeah.
So if it's a message I want to hear or a company I want to hear from, it's cool.
Yeah.
Any other form of advertising or marketing from a company I didn't really want to hear from, it feels intrusive.
Yeah. And, if me personally, I would base it around, bigger events like a Valentine's Day, a Halloween, a Super Bowl. You're already going to be busy at those events anyway, but, can get it even more, but people kind of expect it when you have a deal like that. Or, I mean, if you're just running a major deal and you need a spike in business, sometimes just do it. But I mean, I think twice a month is probably about what I would feel comfortable with if I were putting it out twice a month at the most.
You know,
well, luckily, sorry.
Go ahead, Denise. No, go ahead.
Well, luckily, we've had some in-depth conversations with some people recently about this subject, about SMS. Actually, for the March issue of the magazine, we're doing a huge marketing focus, and we talked to Clayton Kruger specifically about SMS, and the conversation actually was on that, you know, what's the right frequency, and is there a privacy concern? And the answer is obviously, yeah, it's a little bit intrusive. And so you have to decide how often you want to do that. Now for Clayton, as we were talking, you know, they save SMS for things like things that really impact their loyalty program, like birthdays, annual anniversaries, and just leave it at that. Because what a lot of people don't understand, well, email marketing, you know, they're not getting the response rate on email marketing. The text, there's such a premium cost to text. It's expensive. And the more people open it, the more expensive it is. So it gets very costly. Now, what Clayton and I were talking about is how people are transitioning from using SMS to actually using the notifications on people's phones. So this is for pizzerias that have apps and loyalty programs through those apps. And it allows you to get on that lock screen of the phone and push notifications. So you're pushing the same notification without the cost of the SMS. So a lot of people are using the notifications because the notifications are built into their loyalty program. So they're not paying that premium price. So the one thing I will say is to really value those hits on SMS. And if you can find those moments that you really need to push content and get that 160 characters to somebody instantly, that's what you're going to go with, because that price is worth it. But for other things, you may want to use the push notification, because you're still getting it to people's phones, but it's less intrusive because it's coming in on the lock screen, and it's coming to people that that are part of your loyalty program. So
that's great advice. I love it.
Yeah. And they can, if they don't need that notification anymore, they can just click off, but they still,
Right.
Yeah,
are in contact for sure.
One of the things he asked Denise does it always have to be a deal of some sort, or is it okay if I just send out some information? And I think you have to just objectively ask yourself, how valuable and newsworthy is this information? If you're operating let's say a beer club, and you've brought in a new tap, well, that's often, anytime you bring in a new label that is sought after to beer enthusiasts, to craft beer enthusiasts, that's usually a big deal. They want to know about this new tap, right? Maybe you're, for a very limited time, bringing in a stuffed mushroom appetizer, and it's just for a very limited time. Maybe that carries enough weight that is newsworthy enough. But if it's just merely every Wednesday happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m., something like that, and you hit people with it on Tuesday night and again on Wednesday every week, that's going to get really, really old.
That's what I was thinking, Jeremy. Any kind of new product rollout, like introducing a new style pizza, any kind of new product rollout that you really wanted to make a splash, that's a good jump start for it.
Yeah. And I think that, the major chains, I receive texts from major chains all the time, and that's expensive. it's just, really, and they're doing it every week. I'm getting a text every Friday from a couple large chains saying, hey, it's pizza night. Here you go. Here's your 20% off.
You're talking about companies that can afford Super Bowl advertising, so they generally can afford this mass messaging.
Yeah.
And you're also talking about places that can afford to do an offer every week like that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Next question, Denise.
Okay. All right. The next question comes from Jim Barclay from Gaddy's Pizza in Nashville, Tennessee. And he wants to know how things are looking for Pizza Expo in June. He says he can't wait to see everyone there. Me too.
We can't wait either.
I'm just going to be excited to get out of my house.
Right. I don't know, guys. I mean, so far so good. So, we have every intention of having Expo in late June. So.
Well, let's just put it this way. Regardless of the state of the pandemic, we have the protocols in place to function as Expo would function. So I'm super jazzed, and registration is open. So we're ready to go.
Fun fact, I started having some traveling dreams again, like the last 2 weeks. So that leads me to believe like that Expo is going to happen because I'm having those dreams again. I used to have traveling dreams all the time when we were traveling everywhere.
I know our operations team are looking at procedures and protocols that will make us a little more COVID friendly. I guess we should say they're looking into widening some of the aisles potentially, maybe making aisles one way. So instead of all traffic coming in all crazy different directions down an aisle, perhaps it'll be one way. Maybe not. I don't know yet. Nothing's finalized, but they're looking into a lot of different things. Jim, shout out to Jim. I've known Jim actually for over 20 years. When I first got out of college, my very first job, I was a sports writer. And I was in a little town called Bedford, Indiana. And Jim at that time was a Gaddy's, I think it was called Mr. Gaddy's back in the day. Mm-hmm. He was a Gaddy's franchisee. So he owned the Gaddy land in Bedford, Indiana, where I was a sports writer. His son, Travis, was a college football player at the time. And all the cool kids in Bedford, Indiana would go hang out at Gaddy land and play the games and win the prizes and eat the pizza. And that's where I first met Jim. Jim comes to Pizza Expo almost every single year. I'll hear a loud, deep voice, Jeremy. And I'll turn around and here's this big dude that was a college lineman and college football player, huge biceps, hand that swallows mine up, shakes my hand with a grip that about breaks my hand. Hi, Jim, good to see you, because I'm in pain. Jim's a great guy. Thanks for the question, Jim. Like Josh said, we are planning on staging Pizza Expo. It is scheduled for June 22nd through 24th at the Las Vegas Convention Center. The vaccine is rolling out. We are actively making plans as we speak for this show to happen. So, barring unforeseen circumstances and major spike in cases, the governor of Nevada putting a state on lockdown, things could happen between now and then that obviously are beyond our control. But at this point in time, we are very much moving forward and planning on having International Pizza Expo. And I can't wait. After taking last year off, it's going to be Katie. I'm going to use a term from Katie's generation. It will be lit.
And Katie, nobody wants to go to Expo more than Katie. She's been working here for 2 years and still hasn't been to Expo.
I've never been. Oh my God. I hear all these stories and I still haven't been.
It'll be fire, Katie.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. No cap.
She's going to love Expo. Expo is going to be, oh man, my first Expo was insane. Just blew my mind, the industry. And I had no idea about the dough acrobatics until I saw them. And then I was just like, wow, this is crazy. But we're so excited for this year. And I know that registration is going well. A lot of people already rolled over last year to this year. And competitions, they're filling up too. So if you want to compete, you better get on it.
We have a great lineup of speakers set, and obviously things changed drastically in the last year. And so we made some changes to the program. Many of the seminars and workshops will specifically address measures pizzeria owners have taken to navigate COVID, to thrive during this pandemic. So it's very topical, and it's a fantastic educational lineup for sure. So if the seminars are your jam, there's going to be a lot for you to learn.
Yes, and speaking of seminars real quick, just a few days from now, I think it's the 15th of February, Pizza Expo 365. We're going to be dropping some brand new content. It's really good, some really great demos from some of the best pizza minds. So, yeah.
Speaking of 365, though, the competition opened up too. The pizza recipe
That's right.
competition. I think that closes like the first week in March.
Yep.
So you got to get on those recipes and submit them to 365.
And I'm watching closely to see who steals Camden and I's pizza that we talked about on the podcast about a month ago, the one with the steak and the gorgonzola and the cherry. And I'm looking to see, somebody's going to rip us off and
Jeremy,
steal our
I think
recipe.
I've seen that one at Expo. I'm sorry. I think I saw it. I think
Look,
I tried
everything's
it. It was really
derivative
good.
here. We're all derivative. There are no original ideas in the year.
Yeah, there's no such
2021 when it
thing as
comes to pizza.
creativity anymore.
No.
Man, how about that? I'm so excited to eat pizza at Expo, eat the champion pizzas. Man, it's going to be awesome. I'm hungry right now thinking about it.
I love my
on
local
that
pizza,
note-
but I'm ready for some. I'm ready to branch out a little bit more again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same. All right. Well, I think we can wrap it up here. We answered a lot of questions. Thank you to everyone who took the time to submit your questions, and we'll do this again next season. I'm sure this is always a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
See you guys in season 4.
Right on, season 4. Here we go.